Have you ever wondered why those destined for a grand higher calling often find themselves wrestling with the most profound and persistent battles against lust? It's a silent war, an intimate struggle that people shy away from discussing, yet it's far more widespread than most would dare to admit. And the reasons behind it? They're nothing short of astonishing. If you're feeling crushed under the weight of this hidden conflict, know this: you're not alone. In fact, there's a profound biblical perspective that sheds light on this shadowy struggle. So, let's peel back the layers and dive into the surprising truth behind this secret battle. Throughout the pages of the Bible, we see some of the most divinely anointed figures grappling with fierce temptations. Take King David, a man described as being after God's own heart, yet he stumbled into the perilous trap of lust with Bathsheba. Or consider Samson, whose incredible strength and sacred calling were nearly eclipsed by his vulnerability to Delilah's allure. Even in our modern world, those hand-picked by God aren't immune to this challenge. But why? Why does lust seem to zero in on those set apart for extraordinary greatness? This isn't just a matter of human frailty, it's a deeper, spiritual showdown. The adversary, with razor-sharp precision, knows exactly whom to target. The Bible pulls back the curtain on this reality. Ephesians 6:12 tells us, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." Lust isn't merely a physical urge, it's a calculated spiritual assault aimed at those carrying a divine mission. The enemy understands that by tainting the purity of a chosen soul, he can throw a wrench into God's grand design for their life. But why does this battle hit with such unrelenting force? Let's explore 5 jaw-dropping reasons. First, spiritual sensitivity amplifies temptation. When you're spiritually gifted, you often possess a heightened awareness, not only of God's presence but also of the enemy's cunning strategies. Lust becomes a potent weapon in the adversary's arsenal, used to derail and diminish those with divine callings. Those set apart often face more intense temptations, because the enemy knows that ensnaring them in lust can stall or even derail their spiritual journey. Second, isolation breeds hidden battles. Those chosen for a higher purpose often walk a solitary path, one that few can truly comprehend. While this isolation can be a sacred gift, it also opens a dangerous vulnerability. Without robust accountability or deep spiritual bonds, lust festers as a private torment. The secrecy of this fight makes it tougher to conquer, leaving many of the chosen to suffer quietly, their struggles cloaked in shame. Third, a lofty calling invites fiercer attacks. The greater the purpose, the more intense the warfare. Lust isn't just a natural human struggle, it's a deliberate spiritual assault crafted to keep the chosen distracted, depleted, and disconnected from God. Countless legendary leaders, prophets, and spiritual warriors have fallen because they underestimated the sheer power of this battle. The enemy wields lust as a relentless trap, aware that even the mightiest can be brought low by their human weaknesses. Fourth, emotional wounds create entry points for temptation. Many of the chosen carry deep scars, rejection, abandonment, or the pain of past heartbreaks. These unhealed wounds can become gateways for lust. When someone is emotionally fragile, the enemy dangles lust as a false refuge, a counterfeit connection to fill the aching void. Without addressing these inner wounds, lust turns into a coping mechanism, trapping the chosen in a vicious cycle of sin and self-reproach that's incredibly hard to break free from. Finally, powerful spiritual gifts often come paired with a fragile human nature. Many of the chosen possess extraordinary spiritual abilities, but they remain human, and their flesh is susceptible. Without consistent spiritual practices, prayer, fasting, and renewing the mind, the fight against lust grows fiercer. The greater the anointing, the greater the need for self-discipline. Without actively fortifying their spirit, the chosen can easily slip into patterns of lustful thoughts and behaviors. Lust is a clandestine battle that many of the chosen face in the shadows, but triumph is within reach. Through disciplined spiritual practices, accountability, and healing, they can rise above this struggle and continue their journey toward their divine destiny. The enemy's aim is to keep them ensnared, but God's power always surpasses that of any adversary. The real question is, will they rise to the fight or will they succumb to the fall?